My name is Weston Fisher, and I am a physician psychiatrist on faculty. I'm in the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Science, where I do outpatient clinical care, teaching, as well as hold some administrative roles in the areas of quality improvement and informatics. For me, my primary area where mental health affects me is with anxiety. I have anxiety that's interpersonal interactions I have with people in my personal life, in my work life, but also comes up with a great many things. Get caught up in kind of what ifing my way through life and worrying things. And the ways it impacts me, experience my anxiety in a very strong physical way. So when I'm anxious, I get something almost akin to a pain throughout many areas of my body, kind of an electrifying energy that's very unpleasant. And at times can be debilitating. So at worst, I've gone through periods of time where I had a lot of trouble getting off the couch, where I kind of sit with my arms tangled up, my legs crossed, feeling really unable to unlock myself and get up and move. Times I've had to miss work because my anxiety is so crippling for short periods of time, mostly just days, but that's obviously impacted my ability to participate in work. At other times, it's just meant that I need to be particularly careful about things that I have learned to trigger me, and just be very mindful about when I'm reacting in a certain way because of something that I'm bringing into a work situation or into an interpersonal communication, rather than it being about what the other person is doing or saying, or that they're just triggering something in me that maybe other people would react differently. And so being able to learn how to manage my anxiety has included not taking things too personally, not getting overly focused on how I'm seen by others, and really just trying to focus on doing good work. My home life, just taking moments of joy, doing things to take care of myself, meditation, exercise, and I'm in treatment. I go to psychotherapy and I take medications. When I was a student and when I was in medical school, my anxiety impacted me, though I didn't recognize it at the time. I didn't really realize what was happening to me was anxiety. There's certain degrees of healthy anxiety. Being anxious means you're someone who worries about bad things happening, and bad things happen if you don't study hard enough for exams. So there would be ways in which that would help me. But also it meant that I was very sensitive to different things happening around me on the wards, the way attendings would say things or do things, or where the attention was focused. I would study the wrong things at time, being so intensely focused on what I might get called out for in the OR on the surgery rotation, thing for the exam. So it did affect me in those ways, and just meant that I was very stressed out and would have, trouble sleeping and things like that. So, I am in treatment for my anxiety, and so that includes that I have a therapist who I go to now once a week, but that I saw more frequently than that for a period of time. Very socially acceptable as a psychiatrist, but the reality is I needed it regardless of my profession. And I have a psychiatrist separate from my therapist, who's a psychologist. And the psychiatrist I go to and see for general evaluation, and they, add some psychotherapy, but also medications. And so I've taken different medications over time to kind of find what works for me and helps me with my anxiety without a lot of side effects. In addition, I talk to my friends. I've gone to supervisors at times when my anxiety has been bad, especially when I needed to miss work, talking about how, things were getting worse. And if I was worried that I would actually miss more work of it and take some time in the immediate. Helpful, still working on a practice, juices, turn to exercise, especially hopping on the bike, try to get sunshine, try to get out of the house. Those kinds of things. And I have strong, loving, chosen family in the area. One piece of advice I would give someone who's struggling with mental health challenges is to get professional help and to do what it takes to get in there as quickly as possible. I've seen too many people, as myself as a psychiatrist, either not end up in care or take too long to get there, and it's just needless suffering. So even though it's really hard sometimes, getting into professional help as quickly as possible is my biggest piece of advice.